folks, trying a little different angle here, just where I look, I look a little smaller, and you kind of see the grand scheme of things in the movie room. So I kind of put this off for about a week, and because I was too busy in the mind to do other things, and so but last Sunday I went to go see a film, and it's currently the most popular film playing right now. It is Warner Brothers and DC's Black Adam, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. To be quite honest, I was not impressed with this movie. I'm sorry. I had hopes for this movie because I thought that Marvel had let me down with its previous two entries. And I thought, maybe would be a time for DC to catch up. Unfortunately, no, in my opinion, okay? I don't understand why in the world do you need to bring in the occult. Why do you need to bring in the forces of hell? And yeah, I guess as a storyteller, you're thinking, well, what better villain could you have other than facing, the devil himself, But my gosh, this was just, I was so disappointed in this. And but if you ever looked at the comics, comic books in general, not just Black Adam, but if you look at those movies in general, there is that stuff, the stuff of that goes back to the comics. And a friend of mine forewarned me as I was starting to get into it for a little while. And if you notice, I haven't really posted too much about comic books, really. But a friend of mine told me there were some authors to kind of, be aware of what they're writing about, because a lot of their beliefs are steeped in, stuff that is wrong and completely of the occult. And I did manage to keep that in mind, and I haven't, I've pretty much stayed away from those authors. But here we have Black Adam, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Black Adam. Some of these people have some, but the other big star in it was Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher, Quintessa Swindell as Cyclone. Let's see who else here. Aldous Hodge as Hawkman, and Sarah Shai, I can't pronounce her name, I'm sorry, but I know her from the TV show Person of Interest. Yeah, she was in the TV show Person of Interest the last two seasons, and she's actually a pretty good actress. But man, I just thought that this was kind of, I don't understand. Yeah, I just didn't like the fact that, you know, you have the main character and of Adam. I'm just going to call him Adam. You know, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, his character. Um, he's he's this obviously goes back to it's an origin story, kind of explaining where the character comes from and how he has these powers, and he once he says it's actually the same power that Shazam has. So every time that Black Adam says, or Adam says Shazam, he turns into Black Adam. And when he says it again, he turns back to what he was beforehand. Um, kind of, I think, kind of borrowing from Captain America, because it's using that same type of special effect where making, because we know Dwayne The Rock Johnson is this huge muscular guy, and to have him portray as just an average Joe guy with an average body type, it's kind of bizarre to see. But I will say this about the movie. It is action-packed. You see the characters fight each other, you see them use their powers, and so forth. But I thought the villain, did it have to go into the occult? That's what I'm really questioning. Not just DC, but Marvel. Why do you have to go that far? Because I did not care for the last Doctor Strange movie. I thought there were some terrible things that were in Thor: Love and Thunder. I know, like, Thor: Love and Thunder, that's supposed to be a mythology type of god, and of course Marvel made a comic book on that story, but I didn't like the idea. Well, the problem I had with Thor: Love and Thunder was there was a lot of liberalism, like liberal ideas, this forced in your face that you're supposed to. Actually, let's call it what it is. It's called the woke. Ideas and stuff, that's forced in your face. Now with Black Adam, I didn't feel it was so much woke as I thought it delved into the occult, which is really bad. It's the main villain has the upside down star carved onto his chest. It's not hiding anything, folks. But yeah, I was not overall pleased with this movie. A lot of people are praising it. It's kind of, critic-wise, it's kind of in the middle. But yeah, I just thought this was kind of a waste of time, to be honest. This brings me up to a little rant, or continuing this. I'm not going to say go see it, and I'm not going to say stay away from it. I personally did not like this. The positive thing about this, yeah, it is action-packed, and yes, The Rock is literally fighting the devil, okay? And the devil loses. But it's not by the powers of God. It is the powers of a god, but a false god. So That's the only positive thing I can say, is that, yeah, the devil is defeated, literally ripped in half. But the movie runs about a little over 2 hours. And my thought is, okay, yeah, you see The Rock as Black Adam defeat the devil within the last 10 minutes of the movie, okay? But we've got to sit through another hour and 45 minutes of seeing that character be evil and do all this backstory and have them fight each other, which I don't know. It is entertaining in terms of action and, special effects and all that stuff, but again, was it really necessary? But that being said, also, I think it's a turnaround for DC Comics to get their movies better traction. And you notice that the Marvel movies are kind of falling to the sour side, really. Because the last two movies that came out, they've been polarizing to audiences and very diversive. But here's what I'm going to get to my little rant. I saw it last weekend. Now this past week, this of course being the 7th of November, I actually went to the theater again the night before, on the 6th, for a rescreening of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yes, the John Hughes 1987 classic, with John Candy, Steve Martin. And I gotta say, each time in this past year or so, I have had more enjoyment going to the theater to see older movies, that a movie that I may have not have seen in the theater when they originally played, because I was either too young or wasn't born yet. I had a better time going to see those than I was seeing something brand new. So, Hollywood, stop being woke, get your stuff together, make some decent movies. Come on, we don't need all this woke agenda thrown in our face. We don't need the occult. We don't need all this trash that you're throwing in us, or whatever, this woke agenda. It's got to stop. You're not going to make any money making this trash. The other day I was watching reviews of that some bloggers and critics have. There was a film that came out within the last few months called Bros. And these are liberal people, okay? Even they said that that movie was a waste of money. No one was going to go see that movie. They knew that. These are liberal people saying that we knew it was trash the moment that it was announced. Why? Because the majority of people in the world do not agree with that stuff, and they're not going to see it. So, Hollywood, get your stuff together. Stop pandering to the woke agenda and make some decent product. You've done it before. Do it again. Just keep this woke crap out of your movies. We don't need it. We don't want it. If you keep moving and you're wondering why the movies are suffering and you're going bankrupt, because you are creatively bankrupt and more political. Get rid of all that garbage. Make some decent product. So, there you go. From me to you, see you later.